So here we are, the final video kind of recapping what you've learned this school year. Doesn't mean we won't do anything the last 6 weeks, but the last 6 weeks is mainly just reviewing any activities we may have missed, any major projects we haven't done yet, final exams, and, things of that nature. And kind of getting ready for 7th grade as well. So let's end the school year, these videos, with a recap of your vocabulary for the 5th 6 weeks. And it's a doozy, it's a lot. Checking account, deposit, withdrawal, transaction, transfer, check register, debit card, credit card, interest, credit history, credit report, borrower, lender, savings. There's a few more coming up. And at any point, feel free to pause, take a screen capture, ask questions to anybody around you that could possibly help you, or your teachers, or me, if I happen to be your teacher. Other words: student loans, grants, scholarships, work study, salary, lifetime income. I love this particular reporting category because these words and these lessons play such a huge role in your life. For example, checking accounts. A checking account, it's like a bank account where you deposit money, in other words, add money into an account, and you can use it to make purchases, pay bills, take money out, in other words, make a withdrawal. And you use this on an everyday basis. If you talk to your parents or any adults, your guardians, relatives, they usually have checking accounts. And they use this to pay for things at stores. When they take out a debit card or they write a check, you're using a checking account. Whatever amount of money you put in, that's how much money you can spend. Those are the main things you have to think about with checking accounts. So, and there's a few more things coming up regarding checking accounts that I'll get into, but just kind of next time your parents buy something, take a look. Are they using a debit card? Are they writing a check? Ask them questions. It's a great time to learn these types of things. So when they do buy something with a debit card or a check, they're creating a transaction. It's the exchange of money, the movement of money. When you deposit money as well or take money out, that's a transaction. When you move money between an account, let's say from your mom's checking account to your dad's checking account, that's a transfer. Or from your savings to a checking, that's a transfer. This little booklet that you get when you open a checking account where you keep track of your transactions, that's called a check register. And I'll show you one in a few moments. Whenever you hear adults say, I'm going to balance my checkbook, they usually don't say I'm going to balance my check register. It's just too twisty in the words to, you get very tongue-tied saying, I'm going to balance my check register, right? But it means you're keeping track of your balance. How much money do you have left? Nowadays, the best part about today's generation, you can access all of this electronically through apps, through the internet, through your phones. But let's say you do use a check register. We've got one right here. And here's an example. You might want to hit pause on this one and take a look at it. They're showing you a person named Meredith. She started with $117.82 on November 1st. And then her register, had some transactions on there. She deposited money, took money out, spent money and whatnot. And you can see that whenever transactions took place, her balance changed. It would go up, it'd go down, different changes would take place. So at the end of all these transactions on November 30th, what was her final balance? If you're saying $896.88, you are correct. What was her balance on the other dates? Take a look at them. Like I said, feel free to hit pause at any time. And then we've got debit and credit cards. I've kind of touched on debit cards already, but let's go a bit more into it. It's a card that allows a buyer to make purchases, and that money comes straight out of your account instantly. Credit cards, however, that's more like a mini loan every time you use it. It's kind of like, all right, here's $5,000 or $2,000 or even $500 on this credit card. You can spend it, but you have to pay me back. The credit card company, the lender. If you pay me back within a certain time, we're good. We're even. There's nothing to worry about. If you cannot pay me back within a certain time frame, like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, Then I'm going to charge you interest. It's like a percentage of what you owe. So you might spend $50, you might end up paying back 60. Or $100, pay back 120. It all depends on your rates. So again, feel free to hit pause, take a look at the different features of debit cards and credit cards. Speaking of credit cards, they have a real big impact on credit reports. If you want a credit card, you have to have a good credit score. Credit reports are like your history, your financial history. Pretty much telling lenders, is this person going to pay stuff back? Or can we not trust you? Should we lend you the money to get a car? Should we lend you the money to get a new home? That's what a credit report helps with. They look at your score. The higher it is, the better. If your score is really good, then the lender will say, the lender is the person lending you money. They'll say, you know what, we'll lend you that money. You get that credit card. You can get that car. And you are the borrower, the person who is borrowing money to make that purchase. So credit reports help with these kinds of things. Make sure you understand, though, this has nothing to do with debit cards or checking accounts. Those are a separate entity altogether. So let's practice a little bit. If you pay your bills on time, if you borrow money and you repay it, that is a positive thing on your credit history. What if you acquire some debt, like you get a loan, you owe somebody money? That doesn't look so good. Owing a lot of money does not look good on you. It kind of hurts your credit score. If you borrow more money than you can repay, and there's a lot of adults with that situation, that's also negative. It's like saying, all right, I owe like $50,000, but I don't make that much in my job. Then that's not good. That's a negative thing. Or if you make your payments late, if they're due a certain time and you send them real late because you just forgot or you weren't being responsible, well, guess what? It gets reported to a credit reporting agency and your score gets ruined. So remember, the higher your credit score, the better your chances of getting credit. Think about that when you all become adults and be very wise about it. Speaking of growing up, paying for college, there's so many different ways to pay. One is every chance you get, put money aside. Put it into a savings where you kind of like build up money and get interest on it and, it just grows. And you use that to pay for college. Or if you're not able to save up and your parents, your family, your guardians aren't able to quite fund your education, you might need a student loan, which is money a bank lends you and you pay it back later. Or if you get a grant, a nonprofit organization says, you know what? We're going to give you this money, get an education. Or you're really good at something. You have some sort of a skill. You can get a scholarship for that. Skills can include musical talents, physical talents, you're athletic, you're just really intelligent. Or another option, work study, where you work and you're provided financial aid for your work. You work usually like with professors or at your university and whatnot. Let me give you an example here. Victor wants to attend a 4-year college, a university, and the tuition is $14,850. He has $17,000 in his savings, and he earned a scholarship for $4,000. How much does he need to pay? First step, the annual tuition times 4, because he wants to go for 4 years for his degree, and there it is, $59,400. How much does he have? Well, $17,000 in his savings, so you subtract that. $4,000 each year for his other scholarships, so subtract that, which is $16,000, and you're left with $26,400. So he's going to have to find a way to get that money. Either get help from his family, get a loan, or find some sort of alternative. Now, annual salaries, let's say you're done with college and you get a job. A salary is what you're paid at your job. All right? And your lifetime income, it's pretty much saying what you'll be paid your entire career. Like, what would a lifetime consist of? It all depends on different jobs, So, for example, Lucinda is debating on whether she should be a veterinarian or a veterinarian technician, veterinary tech, right? And this is showing you that what she would make as a vet per year which is a real nice amount of money, $82,200, or a veterinary technician, $30,000. Well, look at the amount of education she needs for each particular job. One of them requires a lot more education than the other, but the amount of pay you get kind of makes it worthwhile. So you have to think about these things when you're deciding what you want to do with your life. And also you have to be happy, of course. So let's see. If she started working as a vet at the age of 26 and worked for 39 years, what would her lifetime income be? You would multiply that 80,000 plus times 39 years, and this young lady would make $3,198,000. Sounds pretty good. But don't forget, it ties into credit and debt. If you owe a lot of money, all that goes back to the people who lent you that money. So, what if she started working as a veterinary technician at age 20? All the way to 65, how many years did she work? 45 years. What if she decided to be a tech and worked for a certain number of years? Look how much she would make, $1,350,000. And then compare the two salaries and just kind of, give that last answer a look and think, what would I have answered in this particular problem? Well, you made it through every lesson. Congratulations. Please be sure to rewatch the videos so that you can review for the STAR exam as well as finals. You did it. If you've taken the time to see every single one, I want to thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your effort, and hopefully you appreciate the efforts that I put into making these videos for you. Stay tuned because the 2015-2016 school year got a whole new theme coming up. If you stuck through this entire series, you'll hear it right here. It's Star Wars. Good luck.